distinguished guests from the Goodwill Education Initiative, parents, family members, and friends. On behalf of School Director Elise James, the staff of the Excel Center Shelbyville welcomes you to the graduation ceremony of the class of 2022. As a courtesy to our graduates, please silence your cell phones before the ceremony begins. At this time, please stand as the Excel Center Shelbyville class of 2022 enters the auditorium for its graduation ceremony. My name is Shonda Russell, and I'm the lead coach at the Excel Center Shelbyville. As we begin this evening's celebration, I'd like to thank our outstanding faculty who have invested so much time and energy into these graduates. They have worked long and hard to provide high-quality educational opportunities for each of our students. And it is my pleasure to honor their effort and dedication in helping the class of 2022 reach this milestone. As I introduce the members of the Excel Center Shelbyville team, I ask that they stand and be recognized. Math instructors Jennifer Hagee and Nick Raudebush. Special Education Coordinator, Maria Brown. Manager of Office Administration, Hope Fenton. English instructors, Donald Strickland and Stephanie Vertrees. College and Career Readiness Specialist, Susan Sheets. My fellow life coach, Angela Merritt. Instructional interventionist, Erica Wade. Paraprofessional, Aubrey Hamer. And our school director, Elise James. Our Young Learners Child Care Manager Maribel Campos is unable to be here this evening, but I am pleased to recognize her as well. Please take a moment to recognize and show gratitude for this wonderful team.
It is my privilege to introduce one of the many people who provide crucial support to the Excel Center Shelbyville family. Rachel Ebley, Vice President, Foundation at Goodwill of Central and Southern Indiana, plays an important role in the success of many Goodwill programs, including this one. It is an honor to welcome her to our graduation ceremony and invite her to share a few words with us.
All right, well, I made it past the cord, so we're halfway there, everybody. I'm Rachel. Thank you, Susan, for the warm welcome. Thanks to the whole Shelbyville Excel Center team for making me feel so welcome. And thank you to the graduates. I had a chance to talk to some of you before graduation started and really have enjoyed meeting you all. I promised I wouldn't talk for a really long time. I've been to a lot of graduations over the years, a couple of my own, and I know everybody's always like, that was a short speech, that was a good one. But I do want to say congratulations to our graduates here tonight. I know how hard you've worked, and we see you, and I recognize that work, and congratulations on your accomplishment. Also to your friends and family who are here, your teachers. I know it takes a network of support, a community around you to help you get here today, and so thank you to everybody who's helped our graduates reach this milestone, and that's what graduation really is. You know, it's one of those things in life, every time you reach a milestone like this, it's a new opportunity. Somebody said to me recently, you know, the day somebody is born, they have all these choices in front of them, and we think about that life path they can take, and you think of your endless options. But you know, the truth is every day, that's the truth, guys. Every day, you've got those same amount of choices in front of you for the path you want to go forward in your life. So again, I say congratulations. I say thank you for your hard work. All of us on the Goodwill executive team, the Goodwill boards, we're behind you. We are rooting for you. We can't wait to see what you do next. We are so proud of you. Congratulations.
The first graduate speaker I'm privileged to introduce this evening was 30 years old when she found her way to the Excel Center Shelbyville in term 2 of the 2020-2021 school year. After years of failed attempts to earn her high school diploma or equivalency, she was going to allow nothing to deter her from achieving her goal. As you are about to hear, the story of her journey at the Excel Center includes Zoom classes, road trips in a semi, a baby boy named Case, and the intangible quality of perseverance, which leads to so many tangible results. That quality enabled her to earn 6 credits in her first 8-week term with us. Then it allowed her to earn a whopping 10 credits in another term. It also helped her to remain committed to her goal, even when barriers jumped into her way, preventing her from earning any credits at all. Last week, she finished her high school career by earning an A+ in not just 1, but 2 college credit classes. Please join me in welcoming the salutatorian of the class of 2022, Candace Miller, as our first featured speaker of the evening.
I want to begin this evening by congratulating each of my fellow graduates. Take a deep breath and enjoy this night. You made it. You persevered through everything. When one path didn't work for you, you found another. Before I began my journey at the Excel Center, I attempted to follow many other paths to reach my goal. I attended 3 different traditional high schools. I participated in a homeschooling program. I even tried GED classes twice. Those paths didn't work for me. But I didn't give up. The great American inventor Thomas Edison once said, "I have not failed 10,000 times. I've successfully found 10,000 ways that will not work." I can definitely relate to Edison's thinking. I never felt like a failure. I just knew 6 different paths were not the right fit for me. So each time I backtracked, licked my wounds, and tried another approach. Then I took a 7th path. It led me to the Excel Center, and there was no turning back. Believe me when I say that the path had some obstacles in it. One of them was COVID. I ended up traveling with my husband during that time, and I was actually attending Donald's English 3 class from a semi. I just finished my last 2 dual credit classes last week, even though I intended to graduate in term 3. My baby boy Case had other plans for me in term 2. I was hospitalized with hypertension. Case ended up arriving early, and my completion of my 2 classes was postponed. With the little one in the house, it took me 2 more terms to finish those classes. So it wasn't until term 5 that I could finally see the end of the path. My path through the Excel Center has been wonderful. My teachers worked around my schedule and even taught me when I was traveling the country in a semi. When I was getting my days and nights mixed up with a new baby in the house, they were patient with me. I want to give a big thank you to the staff for walking with me on this journey, especially when the path wasn't as straight as I had hoped it would be. Fellow members of the Excel Center Shelbyville class of 2022, I congratulate you on reaching this milestone in your lives. Like Thomas Edison, we found all of the ways that would not work for us, and then we found the Excel Center. I couldn't be happier or more proud that we did it. Thank you.
When our next speaker enrolled at the Excel Center Shelbyville just a little over 1 year ago, she was only 19 years old. However, she had already been bearing the weight of adult responsibilities for some time. She was navigating life without the benefits of parental guidance. Though she was still a teenager, she and her boyfriend were experiencing home ownership for the first time. She was also working at a demanding job that frequently required overtime hours. Her responsibilities were so heavy, and the distance she lived from school was so great that Zoom classes and Odyssey-ware classes were her only options for remaining engaged in school. In 4 of her 8 terms at the Excel Center Shelbyville, she could manage to earn only 1 credit because of her demanding work schedule. I lived in fear. That we would lose her as a student, and we almost did. Just as we were preparing for her transfer to a Marion County Excel Center, Our creative school director and Algebra 2 teacher cleared a path for her to finish what she started right here in Shelbyville, where she belongs, and she did just that. This evening, it is my privilege to welcome Tara Lewin, a member of the class of 2022, to speak with us.
I want to start off by saying I'm very proud to see everyone sitting here today. I know you all worked very hard to get to this night. It's my pleasure to be giving this speech, although I know it's going to be a difficult one. You may be able to relate to some parts of my story, or you may be able to relate in your own unique barriers. Either way, I hope you will be reminded that you can not only endure many struggles, but you can also overcome them to achieve goals that you never knew were possible. Pushing myself to attend the Excel Center of Shelbyville was hard for me due to multiple challenges in life. My school experiences in the past weren't ideal. Starting at a young age, I struggled to give school my all because I faced many ups and downs at home. My parents were separated, and I didn't remember us being together as a family. But my mom did always try to remain a civil relationship for us. I was a big mama's girl. Although my dad played the big role of taking care of me and my two sisters, my mom was a part of my life, but ironically, she wasn't really there, if that makes sense. DCS was in and out of our home pretty often, and from a very young age, I had to watch my parents struggle with addiction, which was a hard thing for a kid trying to have a normal childhood. Looking back now, I know my childhood was far from normal, but this led me to develop mental and emotional issues that most people could never understand. Imagine being an elementary schooler dealing with depression and anxiety from trauma you can't explain. This was the life that I lived, surviving trauma that no child should ever face, not knowing how to express the pain. On the bright side of everything I always had a friend to go to. She lived next door, and my sister and I basically grew up with her for 7 years. She saw a lot of the issues we had at home, and her mom always had an open door to us, no matter what. We called her our second mother for a reason. Whenever things were bad at home, all I had to do was walk across the street. But as life got harder, I started to really realize how serious both of my parents' issues really were. I was scared. Imagine being a 10, 11-year-old girl telling your parents you're afraid to watch them fall asleep. I had to grow up at a really young age, and I did it the hard way. At 12 years old, one morning, my sister told me that my dad was gone. I can say that my life changed forever that day, and my so-called childhood had disappeared. Listening to the police read the letter that my dad left for us was something I'll never forget. My mom's condition only spiraled from there, and at age 13, I made the decision to leave home and live on my own. This meant that I had to run from DCS in order to stay out of foster care. Unfortunately, school was not an option for me at that time. Although I did try to go back multiple times. About 4 years later, I decided to move in with my grandmother and try to turn my life around. This was one of the best decisions I ever made for myself. One day, I learned that my mom was in the hospital and that I had to get there quickly. Not long after that, they told us I had to make the decision to let her go. There I was, not even 18 years old, and I had already lost both of my parents and experienced so much hardship. I felt like being at school at that point was too embarrassing, so I continued to try to survive without an education. I felt that nobody could possibly understand me. Then I made the life-changing choice to enroll into the Shelbyville Excel Center. It took a lot of change and effort to make my graduation night possible. In addition to attending school, I worked a full-time job and purchased a home with my now fiance while trying to take care of my physical and mental health. Life threw me many curveballs, and at one point I started to prepare myself to have to transfer to another school. However, I am here today and prouder than ever. It wasn't the most traditional path to follow, but it's my journey, and I know my parents would be proud to see me following through and making a life for myself. I appreciate that all of you have sat here to listen to my story. It makes standing here even more special to me. I know my story is just one of many, and all of us have faced struggles. All of us have overcome challenges in order to be sharing this evening of celebration. We can be proud of the strength we have found in ourselves to achieve our goals. That same strength will follow us to face future struggles and continue to achieve our goals. For us, the best is yet to come.
Now, the moment we have all been waiting for. Members of the school board, staff, family members, and friends, on behalf of the director of the Excel Center Shelbyville, I hereby declare that the members of the class of 2022 before you have met the goals of their individual learning plans and the academic requirements of the state of Indiana and the Goodwill Education Initiative, and are thus entitled to receive a diploma from the Excel Center. This is an exciting time for everyone, and we welcome your respectful applause for your graduate. We only ask that you keep your recognition brief and courteous so that each graduate's achievements can be recognized. Thank you. Jana Elaine Alderson, Core 40 diploma, Math and English end of course assessment passer and 1 dual credit course, Early Childhood Education 101, and plans to maintain employment and attend college. Miles Baldwin, Core 40 diploma, NCCER Core Curriculum Construction Certification. He plans to seek employment. Samantha Faith Bradfield, Core 40 diploma, NCCER Core Curriculum Construction Certification. She plans to maintain employment and seek an additional certification. Dewan A. Butler, Core 40 diploma, Math and English end of course assessment passer, and 3 dual credit courses, English 111, Introduction to Microcomputers 101, and Business Law 201. He plans to attend college. Alicia R. Cox, Core 40 diploma, cum laude, 3 dual credit courses, English 111, Introduction to Criminal Justice Systems 101, and Introduction to Criminology. She plans to attend college. Rory R. Dean, Core 40 diploma, NCCER Core Curriculum Construction Certification. She plans to attend college. Sarah J. Dick, Core 40 diploma, NCCER Core Curriculum Construction Certification. She plans to maintain employment and attend college. Kiera Lynette Ebert, Core 40 diploma, magna cum laude, 3 dual credit courses, Political Science 101, English 111, and Business Law 201. She plans to attend college. Isaiah David Michael Frazier, Core 40 diploma, NCCER Core Curriculum Construction Certification. He plans to maintain employment. Andrea Glendenning, Core 40 diploma, Certified Billing and Coding Specialist certification. She plans to seek employment and pursue an additional certification. Gavin W. Glendenning, Core 40 diploma, NCCER Core Curriculum Construction certification. He plans to seek employment. Caitlin Ann Grimmy, Core 40 diploma, Microsoft Office Specialist certification. She plans to maintain employment. Zane Hunter, Core 40 diploma, cum laude, 3 dual credit courses, Political Science, English 111, and Math 136. He plans to attend college. Tara Renee Lewin, Core 40 diploma, NCCER Core Curriculum Construction certificate, and plans to maintain employment. Kiera Renee Macklin, Core 40 diploma, 3 dual credit courses, English 111, Early Childhood Education 101, and Early Childhood Education 103. She plans to maintain employment and attend college. Michael Matthews, Core 40 diploma, magna cum laude, valedictorian of the class of 2022, Microsoft Office Specialist certification, 2 dual credit courses, Introduction to Design Technology 101 and 2D Computer Aided Design 113, plans to maintain employment. Devin W. McCall, Core 40 diploma, NCCER Core Curriculum Construction certification, plans to seek employment. Caitlin Nicole Messmore, Core 40 diploma, cum laude, certified nursing assistant certification, and plans to continue employment. Candace Marie Miller, Core 40 diploma, magna cum laude, salutatorian of the class of 2022, 3 dual credit courses, English 111, Early Childhood Education 100, and Early Childhood Education 101. She plans to attend college. Viridiana Orozco de Galado, Core 40 diploma, cum laude, NCCER Core Curriculum Construction. She plans to maintain employment. Kai Reynolds, Core 40 diploma, Microsoft Office Specialist certification, plans to maintain employment. Caleb Spurlock, Core 40 diploma, cum laude, NCCER Core Curriculum Construction. He plans to maintain employment. Emily Elizabeth Wendland, Core 40 diploma, NCCER Core Curriculum Construction Certification. She plans to maintain employment. Jordan Olivia Wood, Core 40 diploma, cum laude, NCCER Core Curriculum Construction Certification. She plans to maintain employment. Dannon Noel York, Core 40 diploma, 3 dual credit courses, English 111, Early Childhood Education 100, and Early Childhood Education 101. She plans to attend college. Maria M. Ziegler, Core 40 diploma, cum laude, NCCER Core Curriculum Construction Certification. She plans to maintain employment. Tressie Lynn Hess, Core 40 diploma, Certified Nursing Assistant certification. She plans to seek employment. Ladies and gentlemen, I am honored to introduce to you the Excel Center Shelbyville class of 2022. On behalf of the Excel Center Shelbyville Director, Elise James, by the powers vested in me by the Goodwill Education Initiative Board, the Excel Center community, and the state of Indiana, I now pronounce you graduates of the Excel Center. To mark this occasion, it's customary for graduates to turn their tassels from right to left. Please do so at this time. You already did it? Congratulations. Thank you for joining us tonight to celebrate the Excel Center Shelbyville class of 2022. The audience is asked to remain seated until after the recessional.